Good morning, friends. Welcome to Take Two for this Monday, the 25th of February, 2019. I'm Jeannie. So glad to be with you on this Monday morning. Well, just sitting here finishing my coffee and giving thanks this morning because I have a full refrigerator. Now, let me explain that. Yesterday we had a church cover dish. We call it Friends and Family. We do that every last Sunday of the month. We have communion and we also have a meal together. Everybody brings a little something, and before you know it, we've got a full bounty. And it's always wonderful to sit and break bread with the brothers and sisters, get caught up. You're encouraged to sit with different people each time so that you just get to know people that you may not socialize with otherwise or know from work or anything like that. It's a time to gather and do that. There's always such an abundance. And I'm just so grateful for it. You know, I came home from church and I have brought a few leftovers home with me and some salad and a few things. And I opened my fridge. And I've got my fridge right behind me here. I opened my fridge and I hardly had room to put it. And because they're just a bunch of little leftovers. We had guests to dinner this weekend. And so there were just some leftovers and dishes in there and containers. And you know what? I just started to boo-hoo a little bit. Some tears started going down my face. And Michael was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, oh no, it's not tears of sadness, and it's not tears because I can't fit the salad in there. It's tears of gratefulness. And I started thinking it's very important to have gratitude for what you have. I'm going to go back in history just a tiny bit and give you a little bit of background. Now, please understand that what I'm about to share with you is not something that I'm sharing because I'm trying to say anything bad about anybody. It's because of the lessons that Michael and I learned. And that was many, many years ago after we went through our church planting training, our pastoral training school in England. We had a placement afterwards where we were going to live for 2 years and work alongside a brand new ministry that was starting. And we were coming on board as a volunteer staff to help out with that. Well, there was a snag with our finances, and because of something that was going on in America where our finances, our donations were filtering through, there was a snag with the banking, which caused everything to be held back, and we had no income coming in. And that was a really rough patch for us. So for about 2 or 3 months, we had to just live on whatever we had. Now, imagine, if you will, we didn't have any money to pay for food or anything. We were just kind of stuck there. We had no credit cards or anything. So we were relying on the kindness of others. Now, the people that we were working with the placement didn't quite get it. And they personally, not only did they not care, but they also went a step further to actually be blaming us for this and to be really quite ugly towards us and say, well, then you just need to go home. And again, how were we going to get home? We had tickets that weren't going to be, we had one-way tickets. And we're like, well, how are we supposed, well, call your family and make them buy you tickets. And it was just absolutely awful. Completely forgetting the mission, completely forgetting that, we were 2 human beings. And, and they were calling us stupid Americans and all this. It was ghastly. It got to the point, boys and girls, we didn't even have a tea bag. The only food we had, and this went on for just a short little while, we had an apple tree in the back of our little apartment, and there were apples on it, and that's what we ate for a couple of weeks. It was rough times, very rough times. So when I opened that fridge on Sunday yesterday and coming home from church, and I saw all that we had, I'm remembering that, not because I'm bitter, not because of any badness or anything like that, but because I'm so grateful. I have gratitude. There's an old saying that Confucius of all people said, and it was this, and my mother used to quote this to us: I was complaining I had no shoes till I met a man who had no feet. I could look at it this way and say, I was complaining I had no food until I realized I had an apple tree in my backyard. Now, I'm not here today to bring you down, but I just want to remind you, boys and girls, that we need to be grateful for everything we have. And when we get the abundance again, and this story about England has a very happy ending, and I'll tell you what it is. That was our first placement. When we realized after 8 or 9 months it wasn't working out with us with these folks, because even when our money came back and the snag was repaired and we had regular income coming in from our donors back in the States, they still didn't quite get it, and they still thought we were irresponsible, and it just didn't work out. So we went to our trainers back in Liverpool where we had trained and said, we need a new placement. And it turned out that another church was ready to take us on board, and we stayed with them for over 2 years, and to this day they are still very dear, close friends of ours. Well, we went back on a subsequent visit, and we saw some of the folks that had turned against us on the original, and we had nothing but forgiveness and love in our hearts for them. And one by one, each one contacted us, and I have to say, we ended up parting company with everybody who had hurt us, and we parted on good terms. So just to let you know, forgiveness goes a long way, but that's another take two for another time. I just want to let you know, boys and girls, that there's going to be times in your life where you don't have a full fridge. There's going to be times where maybe all you have is a loaf of bread and an apple on your backyard tree. Be grateful for those times. You know, I'm going to read a couple of little quotes here quickly about gratitude and being grateful. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but it's the parent of all others. Cicero said that. That's a really good quote. If you have gratefulness and gratitude in your heart, even if it's just for apples on your back tree, then that is a great starting point for good qualities to have in you. Listen to this. This was an anonymous saying, and nobody knows who said it, but it's a really cool one. You ready? Today I choose to live with gratitude for the love that fills my heart, the peace that rests within my spirit, and the voice of hope that says, all things are possible. See, when it starts with gratitude, me being grateful, Michael being grateful, no matter how wrenched our hearts were, the way people had been behaving towards us, we were grateful for the apples on the tree. If it starts there, then one day, boys and girls, those apples on the tree can turn into a full fridge. Go be a blessing to somebody today. You know, you might end up being the only one who is. And always be grateful for everything you have. Hey, I would love and be very grateful if you would become a subscriber to my YouTube channel at Jeanne Sigler, JeanneSigler. Click the subscribe button. And of course, don't forget, I'd be really, really grateful if you would listen to my radio station, WRMZ.org, and click the listen button. And you know what? I'd be super duper grateful if while listening, you took it upon yourself to also hit the donate button on our homepage, because we are ever, ever grateful for every penny that comes in as a donation. Your safe, secure donation through PayPal. Okay? All right, I love you very much. I'm leaving you with one more. You ready? Gratitude and attitude are not challenges. They are choices. I hope you make the right choice today and have a grateful heart. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.